Today we're going to be installing a Fleece TapShifter on a 2001 Duramax. This is a Fleece part number FPE TapShifter 1-2. We offer these on the websites. Fleece actually makes this for the 2001 all the way up to 2004 models, but the 2003 and 2004 are a separate part number. The nice thing about the TapShifter is this is going to give, just like the 6-speed trucks, you're going to get full manual control of your transmission. The nice thing about it for the 2001 to 2002 Duramax trucks is you're actually going to get 4th gear lock capability or overdrive lockout capability. Why is that important? On a dyno, it's going to be very important, or a very nice feature for you guys to be able to lock your 1-to-1 gear or 4th gear. So you can lock 4th gear in and hold it on the dyno. You don't have to worry about it going into 5th gear and you getting a dyno spike. It's also going to help you if you're towing and you've got the truck is wanting to hunt from 4th to 5th gear. You can lock 4th gear in, complete the pull, complete the hill, lock her back into 5th gear with tow haul on. So this has got a lot of really nice features, especially for the 01, 02 trucks, but the tap shift capability is going to be nice for the 2003 to 2004 guys. A word about the 2001 to 2002 trucks as well. You are going to have TCM tuning done on the truck. You can have this done by GM. So if you take your truck after you've installed it, take it to your local Chevrolet dealer. Let me pull out my handy dandy note here. And if you reference TSB Technical Service Bulletin 0207 30051, they should be able to flash your TCM to get the new calibration in to where you can have overdrive lockout capability. Again, that's GM TSB 0207 30051. It's good for you to have that information if you go to your Chevrolet dealer and you tell them that you want to get the TCM flash that's going to enable you to lock out overdrive, and they look at you like you're crazy. 0304 guys, no tuning adjustments are required. It's pretty much just a hook up and go operation. So let's get started with our installation. Under the hood, really only thing that you're going to need here is a 10 metric socket and an 8 metric wrench or a socket for removing your batteries, and a little screwdriver to remove the covers off the TCM connectors, but we'll get to that in just a second. So first thing that we're going to do, as always, is we're going to remove all 4 battery cables from both batteries. Remove both battery cables from both batteries before we get started with our installation. So now that we've got all 4 of our battery cables unhooked from our batteries, it's time to go ahead and start getting our cover off of our TCM. So 2 metric 10 bolts hold this cover on, and you can see those right here where I'm at. We're going to go ahead and take both of those out and get this cover off. And it's a good thing that they put such a long bolt in this TCM cover, because you never know when you're rolling down the road and your cover's gonna fly off. Here's the cover off, and this actually is gonna give us access to the TCM itself. So just to pop it out of the cover, just a couple tabs like this, and lift it straight out. On your Allison TCM, it's marked on the outside of the TCM with the connector colors, the red connector here and the gray connector there, and you can see it's actually written on the TCM. First connector that we're going to work with is the red one. The nice thing about the Fleece TapShifter is they actually make a pass-through connector for this. This pass-through connector is going to eliminate a lot of the pin connections that you're going to have to make. You're still going to have to make one pin connection on the other connector, but we're going to show you how to do that here in just a second. But this is a really nice connector. So on the red side, we just push down the unlocking tab, hook this back into our male side or harness side till the locking tab clicks, and then we can actually just push the fleece connector right back into the TCM until it clicks. Next, we're going to put the pin in our gray connector on the TCM. So the connector marked as gray, or the bottom connector, go ahead same way, just unhook it and set the TCM out of your way because you're actually going to be working on the connector itself. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get this clear plastic shroud off of the hookup here. So a pin works good for this. I use a little flat bladed screwdriver that would keep around all the time. If you push in both of those connectors, the white part of the connector, which is actually the locking part, the male part, push them both in, the clear shroud will pull off easily. Remember, the orientation of it is how it goes back on there. The raised side goes back towards the clip. Then you want to get the gray part of the clip off there. There's 3 connectors on it to be able to bring it out and off. So here is our first one here, and you'll just go around it at the kind of split line of the connector. You can see where the connector is kind of in 2 pieces. Don't break anything here. Just take your time, walk through the connector, get the connections off. There's number 2 right there. And our third one here. And then separate it at the line right there. Okay, so inside of here, you are looking for pin number 12. Pin number 12 should not be populated. There should be nothing in it. You can see along the connector how everything is marked there. So we're looking for pin 12. And pin 12 is going to be on the top row. And I can't read it because I'm old. There's pin 12. So this is pin 12 here, as it's marked on the connector. We're going to go ahead and engage the pin to that from our harness. This is the single black wire. You're just going to go ahead and push it right straight into the hole until it clicks. You want to make sure that the connector clicks in, is installed correctly. Goes finally. All right. Then you can see how it's not all the way in just yet, and we can tell it's not all the way in because it's not level with the other connectors. So just keep working with it, and eventually it'll click into place, or you'll push it all the way through like I did that one. So they will go back out, but they will not press back in. So we should be good to go there. Yep, everything's locked, we're good to go. So now, route it with your wiring, your original wiring harness back out, and then you can clip your gray piece back down, back side, and then our clear plastic. Again, the raised piece on the clear plastic goes back towards the locking tab. Okay, everything is in, and our last connector back in to the TCM. Then I'm just going to pull it back out, make sure that it didn't push that pin out that we just populated right there. Pin number 12 looks good. There we go. Now, this part of your wiring harness is actually going to go back into the cab, so you'll route that back into the cab however you feel like it, and we're going to get our TCM back into our cover now and get it bolted back up. When you got your TCM back in your cover here, one thing on putting this back in, if you just go ahead and just sit it back down in, you'll notice it's going to sit back down easily, but the pass-through connector is going to be out and it's going to be laying on top of your coolant hose. You really don't want to do that. So as you go to put your TCM back in, you want to guide the wiring harness down underneath of the hose, and then everything's going to fit in there, no contact with your power steering pulley or the coolant hose, and that just leaves you with this harness. Real clean install. It'll run right back and it'll go inside the cab. You can go inside the cab anywhere. We use the grommet over here on the right hand side, doesn't matter. Whatever you feel comfortable with, that'll work. But this end of the wiring harness has to go back into the cab. All right, now that you've got everything under the hood done, you've got your cord from the TCM out in the cab, it's time to put our shift lever in. To put the shifter in, to put the tap shifter in, you're gonna have to disassemble the two covers over the steering column. This is no problem to do this. You've just gotta take your time and be easy with it, because it's all plastic stuff, of course, and you can break everything in it. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is you're going to want to get the plastic part of the dash off there. You're going to do that by turning the key on and pulling the gear shift down to first gear. That's going to allow us to pop the plastic part of the dash out, the dash cover. If you got a DSP-5 switch or anything in here, make sure you undo that first so you can get everything out. Tilt your steering wheel down and just rock this out. Now it's going to come to the part where you're going to need some tools. Going forward, you're going to need a 7 metric. I believe this is T25 Torx. Yeah, T25 Torx. An external Torx, what I call them, or an E6, or a 4 metric 6-point socket, 1/4-inch drive ratchet, and an extension. All right, so now we're going to take our bottom plate off. So 7 metric now. And there's 2 screws at the bottom of the panel to come out. This truck's got a electric brake in it. We're not going to take the panel completely out of the truck. We're just going to hang it out of our way. This is really just a convenience thing for us. So pull straight back on this. Your 2 points are on either side there, so you want to be as close to that as you can. You can see how those metal clips will come out of there. Sometimes they will stay in there. If they do, that's fine too. You can bring them back out and put them back on the dash, however you want to do it before you put your dash back in. They're no problem. Little yellow clips right there, so I just like to put them off the dash and put it back on the thing before you reinstall it. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is the tilt switch that's on this side. You can't see it over there, but the tilt switch, all you do is you just grab it and pull it straight out and it'll pop right out for you. Then that gives you access to these 2 screws. There's 2 T25 Torx screws in here, one right here and one right there. There's nothing in this hole. So these are the 2 T25s that have got to come out. Now our bottom piece can go ahead and come out, and you just want to just start working it until it unclips. And it's just plastic clips there. There's no tricks to it, anything like that. You just want to kind of unclip it, be real careful, and pull straight down. The reason why you want to be careful on the column clips is because they've just got these little chintzy plastic clips there like that you can bend them over if you bend them too far, like that one right there. That one's actually a guide pin, so we got to get it bent back up or you'll have all kinds of trouble getting it back together. So you just want to make sure that you didn't bend anything over. Now it's time for the top. The top has 1 bolt in it the very top, and I'm going to go ahead and move the shifter back to park now because I don't need it in this position. I'm turn the key off and get this damn key ring out of my way. There's only one bolt that holds the top part of the column off, is an external Torx or a 4 metric, and it is right here above the key drum, and you will see it going into the top cover. I just use an extension to pop it off right here and just get that bolt out, and then we'll show you the top of it coming unclipped. You can see the bolt. See, this is what I meant by being an external Torx, or you can use a 6.4 metric and that'll let it come out just fine. Okay, now just use your slide on the side there and go all the way down with the column, and you're just going to want to bring the second part of the cover, you're just going to want to bring it right straight up. Just keep working it. Don't force it, don't break anything, so on and so forth. Don't say too many curse words. Right around the key drum is where it wants to pinch there, and you can just kind of keep working it that way and turning it, and it'll come out. And then you want to go through it, see if there's any of the pins that got bent, and taking it out. Okay, good. Now it's time to remove the shifter. The shifter has an orange wire that comes out of it, and you can see this boot where it's destroyed here. Somebody'd been in this truck before us and they were fixing the return spring. We didn't know that, so we ordered them another boot, and that won't be here until Monday. But you want to follow the orange wire down and unhook it. It'll be on the other side of the steering column right here. Just clip the zip ties as you come to them and unclip it. Really easy. It's down that loom. If this gets in your way, there's only 4 bolts that hold it on, or 4 nuts that hold it on. Take those 4 nuts off. They look like they're metric 10s. Pull it right off, and you can get access to the wiring harness, but shouldn't give you any problems. Fleece includes the proper bit to remove this shifter handle if you need it inside of the kit. So you just remove the Torx. You remove the Torx screw that's in the handle, and you can remove the shifter. Go ahead and remove the shifter by pulling straight up on it. Now we're going to reinstall the Fleece TapShifter. Fleece, this is not a Fleece manufactured part, this is the actual GM shifter for the newer model truck, so we're going to go ahead and install that now. Fits in just the same way. Just tighten our screw back up on it. Now that you've got your bolts installed, you just want to re-thread the wiring harness through here and back to where all the original spots that it was there. All the original holders and keepers. And then you're going to want to bring the harness up from outside. Don't forget about that. You're probably seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Don't get carried away here. We've still got a little bit of work to do. You want to make sure that you're not caught on anything there. You're going to want to route it back with the stock wiring harness going into the column. Lay it in there the same tracks that it lays in. All right. Now, this connection is a piggyback connection that will be made from the stock wiring side to the Fleece to the Fleece TapShifter. So you're going to want to go with your big end, goes back to the shifter side. The small end goes into the stock harness. Make sure you don't bend any pins. You click everything into place, and then we're going to zip tie this up. So we're going to zip tie up all these connections right here, and we're going to keep on putting our dash back, or get back to our steering column connected after we get everything zip tied here. Now we're going to start back with our steering column covers. And again, a word about this, you just want to be really careful with this. Make sure that you've got everything straight so that it engages everything on the bottom side of the column correctly, or you're going to fight this the whole way. So I've got everything straightened up there, and you kind of want to go back to the way it came out. You want to kind of start over towards the right side or passenger side, and then you're just going to want to make sure that you work everything in, and as best to your knowledge as you can, and be aware of the speedometer as well. That's a lot of stuff to be aware of, but be aware of the speedometer as well. Plastic on plastic. I know it's not supposed to scratch anything, but if your luck's like mine, well, you know the rest of that story. So get your steering column in there, and once you get it over, the emergency flashers, everything should line itself pretty well out. You're going to want to walk through there again and make sure that you're where you need to be. So just take your time, it'll fall in. Before you go back up with your bottom one, check your pins again, make sure everything is straight. I can't stress that enough. You will fight this column if you don't have straight pins. It will not snap back together the way it's supposed to, and if it doesn't snap back together the way it's supposed to, then it looks like an idiot worked on your truck. So now our metric 8 or our metric 4 bolt back in where it goes. You don't want to over tighten this because it is going into plastic. Okay, so just snug that up. All right, now for our bottom. Is right here. You want to check all your alignment pins there. Make sure everything's straight. All right, so we're going to go with this now. We'll run this back up. Torques the bottom row or the hole closest to the outside of the truck, or towards the front of the truck, towards the bottom, however you want to look at it. And then the one on the outside next. Don't put the bolts in it and try to tighten it up and pull the two pieces together, because that doesn't pull the two pieces together. All right, now, next is our adjustment pin. We're gonna push it in, lock it down. There you go. There's your new shifter installed, along with the steering column cover on. So now we're gonna get our bottom plate on, we're gonna get our top plate on, and then we'll finish up, show you the walk through the finishing steps of this. A couple of different things to talk about wrapping up this installation on this Fleece TapShifter. The guys at Fleece have put a lot of thought and engineering into this TapShifter. This is a really, really nice unit. I mean, from the attention to the fine details of, you know, doing the pass-through connector on the red side, down to including the 30 Torx bit inside the box. Really nice kit. You know, probably a couple hours installation, you know, just fiddling with the steering column and getting everything lined up. Really nice, really clean install. We're going to take you for a drive and we're going to show you the inside of the truck too. I want to say a couple of things on the tuning. At the beginning of the video, I said that you'd have to take the truck to GM and have it reflashed by GM. That's not necessarily true. You can do it that way. That'll totally work fine. If you have EFI Live on your truck, you can also get in touch with your tuner. This truck was tuned by Duramax tuners, so Bob and Chris and Paul, those guys helped us out with the tune today, and we really appreciate that from them. We actually reached out to Fleece as well, and Braden and Scott got back in touch with us, and the calibration for this, if you have EFI Live, is actually on Fleece's website. If you go to Fleece's website, and then go to, I think it's resources and downloads, or downloads and resources, whatever, or software and downloads, it'll actually be on there. It'll be the 5th gear OD lock, or I'm sorry, overdrive lockout tune. So they've got that right there on their website, which that's another one, another thing that just goes into the attention to detail on this kit. So, and that's usually pretty common with Fleece. They do a really good job. So everything looks good. We're cleaned up on the install. We've got everything zip tied underneath of the hood. Inside the cab, everything is done as well. We've got everything zip tied up. The 0102 dash looks cool with the new style shifter in there. You can see it there. So we're really impressed with that. We're gonna go through and do a little bit more cleanup, and then we're gonna take it for a test drive and show you how this thing functions. So we're going to do a little test drive video on the Fleece TapShifter now, and we're going to make this quick because this truck doesn't have any air conditioning in it, and it is hotter than new love in here. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check, make sure that you've got full functionality that you had before. So you're going to want to check and click your tow haul on and off and make sure it lights up, make sure it's working. So we know that it's working. So we're going to go through every gear and just feel the truck pull, neutral, reverse, there's drive, there's 3, there's 2, there's 1. So we know we don't have any binding there. So now you can just hit the minus button on the TapShifter, hit it twice and see if it goes to 3, and then 2, and then 1, and then if it goes back up. So we know that we're good there. So we're gonna hit one more time and it's gonna stay in drive. Now we're gonna show you the overdrive lockout function of this. So we're just in normal drive right now, and when we get up here to this stop sign, I'll dial it down to 1, and we'll use full manual capability of the TapShifter. All right, so we're going to manually dial it down to 1 at a complete stop here. Make sure it holds the gears. So we're holding 1 there, 2, holding 2, 3. Holding 3, 1 more up, that gives us locked 4. So we should be in locked 4. Now the truck's going to downshift normally, just like if you've driven one of the newer Chevrolets, you know. We should be in 4th gear locked right here. I'm taking off, 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. There's 4th gear locked. Go into overdrive right now, just hit the up button. That takes us right to 5th, just like that. Into 4th, you want to go into 4th while you're cruising. Hit the down arrow once, you're in 4th gear locked. So locked out, overdrive. This is going to be really helpful for you guys that are towing, that are having a problem with the truck shifting back and forth, and the truck hunting for gears. It's also going to be really advantageous to you on the dyno for the 5-speed trucks. So we hope you enjoyed this installation of Fleece's TapShifter on a 01 Duramax. If you have a question on this installation or any of our other installations, please give us a call. Thank you.